Okay, guys, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Now, fasten your seatbelts. Here we go. All right, guys, I'm back, and it is Wednesday, October 14th, and it's 9:33 p.m. Eastern Time. All right, guys, well, let's get into the news, but I want to thank everyone for their prayers and thoughts and prayers for my mom. She had a very, very bad fall the other day. So, yesterday actually. So, she is doing better, but still the underlying reason for the fall is not good. So please continue to pray for her. Anyway, I appreciate you guys so much. Those of you that prayed and wished her well, I very, very much appreciate that. All right. Also, I want to thank the following. Well, we've got Triple H, Heather H. in Houston, donated via coffee, and thank you very much. She is always very generous, and appreciate that. Also, Karen Teak. I'm not sure if I pronounced your moniker correctly, but if not, I do apologize. Thank you for the donation, and also Aaron Steele. So thanks, guys. Very much appreciated. And now we are going to dive right into the news. We've got a lot of it. I probably won't get through all of it, but I'm going to do my best. All right, let's get going here. Also, I do want to mention to you guys that a couple people have told me that in my description, I always put the links there to everything, my book, the Teespring, the Deception Bytes t-shirt shop, and so forth. But somebody told me that the link to the t-shirt shop is not working. And indeed, when I looked, it's been cut off. So what I'm going to do for a couple shows is just put the link in the first pinned comment so you can take a look. I'm probably going to be adding stuff for Christmas. It will be politically related, unless anybody has, an order for something. I'll consider it. If you want something designed, I'll consider that. So just let me know. And, but I will be adding some more stuff closer to Christmas, which is getting alarmingly close. So anyway, just wanted to mention that. And thank you for you guys that brought it to my attention. I appreciate that. Anyway, let's look at this by Gateway Pundit. Breaking, Joe Biden calls a lid and hides in his basement after explosive revelations from Hunter Biden's recovered hard drive. Now, this is being censored very, very, very heavily. The New York Post is the one that came out with the original article. It is being censored on Twitter. Actually, you can't even retweet it on Twitter. They just remove it. And so really, there's a huge ban. You really can't even mention it on Twitter. So I am going to be a little bit careful about what I talk about here for that reason, because obviously, they're not wanting anything negative to come out about their candidate, meaning the left, because we know that all of social media, it seems, is on the side of the Democrats and is actively handicapping the conservatives. They're actively doing that. So they are actively interfering in an election. They seem to do the very things that they accuse the other side of doing. I guess that's to deflect attention. I don't know, but classic projection, and that's what they're doing. They don't want anything negative to come out that might affect Joe in the polls. Well, I've got news for them. The polls are fake, and Joe Biden doesn't have a snowball's chance in the hot place. So let's take a look at this. This is today's. It's hot and fresh. And Joe Biden called a lid at 9:41 Wednesday morning and shut down for the day after Rudy Giuliani and Steve Bannon dropped an October surprise on his campaign. Less than 3 weeks until the election, and Joe Biden has called a lid in order to avoid any questions about the new smoking gun emails released. And boy, they really are smoking guns. Really. So later this afternoon, Biden will participate in a virtual fundraiser, Biden's campaign said in a statement. At 7 p.m., Biden is delivering pre-taped remarks to American Muslims at the Muslim Making Change National Honors event. And let's come down here. Now, this is by Rahim Kassam. He says, breaking, Joe Biden has called a lid on campaign activities 19 days out from an election after explosive revelations from H's, and that's all I'm going to say because this is being censored so heavily. I'm just going to call him H. All right. No, no insult to Triple H, in Houston. I mean, this guy gives H a bad name. I mean, a bad reputation. Anybody whose name starts with H. I mean, really, that's how bad this guy is. He's toxic, absolutely toxic. He's worse than toxic. Anyway, let's call him H for the sake of allowing this video to be up. Otherwise, it's probably going to get dinged, and so will I. Anyway, good morning from Delaware. The Biden campaign has called a lid. Later this afternoon, he'll participate, blah, blah, blah. So we already went over that. And let's come down here. Rudy Giuliani and Steve Bannon, via the New York Post, dropped an October surprise on Joe Biden on Wednesday, and the media hacks are scrambling to run cover for Crooked Joe and his crackhead H. Yeah. So, unbelievable, the stuff that's coming out, but yet very, very believable. Anyway, dear H, thank you for inviting me to DC and giving an opportunity to meet your father and spend some time together. It's really an honor and pleasure. As we spoke yesterday evening, would be great to meet today for a quick coffee. What do you think? I could come to your office somewhere around noon or so, before or on my way to the airport. Best, V. Now, this is from Vadim Posen. Well, I'm not sure, but it's a Ukrainian guy. Can tell by the name. And the New York Post reported Wednesday that a laptop computer abandoned at a Delaware repair shop contains emails between H and senior Burisma advisor that indicate H arranged a meeting between his father, Joe Biden, and the advisor in Washington, D.C. in 2015. Joe Biden is going to hide all day in his Delaware basement so he doesn't have to answer why he sold out his public office to enrich his family. And how, his campaign likes to say, we treat you like family. Well, hey, where's my $50,000 a month for doing nothing? Why can't we all get in on that, huh? He said he'd treat us like family. Well, that's the treatment his family gets. Anyway, Biden previously claimed, I have never spoken to my son about his overseas business dealings. And of course, that is poppycock. Well, I could use other words, but I won't. I'm a lady. Yeah, and this is him saying just that.
Have you ever spoken to your son about his overseas business dealings?
I've never spoken to my son about his overseas business dealings.
Yeah, well, he lies with ease, and that concerns me a little bit, and it should concern you as a possible presidential candidate. And I say possible because, well, actually, it isn't possible. I mean, it really isn't. Without them cheating, there's not a hope that he could win. Not a hope. Although they'd like us to believe that he's so far ahead in the polls. Same with Hillary Clinton. And you know why they did that? Because they were planning on cheating. And they wanted everybody to think like, yeah, she was way ahead in the polls. No surprise that she won. Yeah, well, they want to do that with Joe Biden as well. They would like us to just think that, well, he's so popular that I guess he just was more popular than President Trump. Yeah, even though he can't gather 50 people together for a rally. Not even 50. Maybe if he paid them and fed them. All right. Well, let's go back now because we've got a lot of news and I don't want to be, All right. Let's take a look at this. Now, this is the actual article, so I do have to be careful, and I'm hoping that they will allow this. So, Smoking Gun Email reveals how H introduced Ukrainian businessman to his father. And we know all about this, and I don't think we have to get in too deeply with this because I think we're pretty much privy to everything that went on there. A lot of the emails, though, have, there's also pictures that were recovered from the laptop, and apparently there are some very, very distasteful pictures. The ones I have seen, well, I did see the crack pipe hanging out of his mouth. That was a really attractive look. And yeah, so let me see if there is more down here. I do have to be careful about reporting this, so your best bet is to go to the New York Post itself and read this article, because if I go too far in depth with this, I know what's going to happen. And this is a very long article as well, but here are some pictures that were found on the laptop. There he is, passed out in a bathtub, it looks like. Let me see what else we have here. This, although you can't see it very well here, that's him asleep with a crack pipe. I guess that's his little teddy bear that he sleeps with. I don't know. He's a piece of work, and I don't know why his dad's so proud of him. He really hasn't accomplished anything except use his father's name to enrich himself. That's all. And there he is. Isn't that a lovely picture of him? Yes. Actually, I think I just threw up a little in my mouth. But anyway, I digress. So, again, go out to the New York Post. It's today's, and it's fresh and hot. So go take a look at that. I wish that I could do it for you, but, well, you understand the times that we're living in right now, and people don't, not everybody appreciates the truth. You guys do, that's why you're listening, but yeah, they're working hard to keep the truth, keep a lid on the truth right now, and it's not working very well, but you know, they're gonna try. That is good coffee. It's Tim Hortons coffee, and I'm telling you, I don't know what they put in their coffee, but it's addictive. All right. Caffeine. Caffeine is what they put in their coffee, probably. Yeah. Okay, now this from Kirstie Alley. I'm speaking. Your chronic smirk and juvenile demands to be listened to are consistent with a pretty girl who garnered power by boinking a married man. Of course, she's directing this at who else but Kamala Harris. Perhaps you can't conceive of an ethical woman gaining power on her own merit without the use of her vagina. I'm speaking. I love this because, well, you're going to see here in a minute. Let me make it larger for my tiny phone people, and let's go.
You were surrounded by a team of folks that helped prepare you for this nomination hearing.
I have had, yes.
Let me finish if you don't mind.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Did they inform you well, I imagine you were surrounded by a team of folks that helped prepare you for this nomination hearing.
I have had, yes.
Let me finish if you don't mind.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Did they inform?
I don't really know why that is so damning. Of course, Kamala just let her know that she was speaking. I mean, yes, she was rude, but then what do you expect from Kamala? You know. All right, so anyway, let's go back because we have more. There's always more. You know there's always more. I mean, it just is a never-ending flow of craziness. All right, China was blackmailing Joe with H's crack photos. What a beautiful day. That from Pepe Lives Matter. Yes, they were apparently blackmailing Joe Biden, and that's not a good position for a VP to be in now, is it? And do we want a president that's able to be blackmailed like that? I don't think so. I mean, look at how, I mean, Trump has got to be the most researched and investigated human being on the planet, and they still haven't found anything that's damning. And yet, we've got Joe Biden, and I mean, you could blackmail him with just about anything because he's been involved with everything. I mean, he is a career criminal. He's a career criminal politician. 47 years, and what's he accomplished except enrich himself and his family? Nothing. He hasn't done anything for the American people except sell us out. So these are the pictures, and we did just have a quick peek at them, so we don't need to do that again. But let's move on because there's more. There's always more. And let's go back here. Yeah, this is very, very interesting, and I like this website. It's Global Research. It's a Canadian website, but man, they do good work, and they tend to dig and find stuff that nobody else seems to find. So let's take a look at this because this is quite fascinating if you ask me. Now, this is from yesterday. The political office of the Libyan National Struggle Front, Ahmed Gaddaf al-Dam, began on Monday the first steps to sue former U.S. presidential candidate Hillary Clinton on charges of spreading destruction and supporting terrorism in Libya. The cousin of the late Libyan president, Colonel Muammar Gaddafi, said in an exclusive interview with Sputnik that he had assigned his legal team to sue the former U.S. Secretary of State. Gaddaf al-Dam added that he provided the legal team with other documents not released by the U.S. State Department to prosecute Hillary Clinton on charges of spreading destruction and supporting terrorism in Libya, which she did. No further details were released, and it's not clear where the lawsuit will be filed. Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State under U.S. President Barack Obama when NATO interviewed the Libyan civil war in 2011. Under heavy bombardment by NATO, Libyan President Muammar Gaddafi was forced to abandon Tripoli and take refuge near the city of Sirte, where he was later captured by anti-government forces and subsequently killed by his captors in 2011. Note to readers, please click the share button. Okay, well, yeah. So, not a long article, but why aren't we seeing this anywhere else? Why? Why are no U.S. websites, even alternative websites, covering this? Why? I would think this is big news. Maybe that's just me, but I think it's pretty freaking huge. So, I don't know, but it needs to get out there. All right, now let's go back because there's more, and I'm going to bring it to you. Now, this makes me so sad. And you know why it makes me sad? I'm going to tell you. My mother's getting up there in age, and, you know, my stepfather has breathing difficulties as it is. So we were very careful, and I got their groceries and did everything so that they would not have to go out. Because if he had gotten any sort of respiratory illness, really could kill him. And so, you know, and for a long time, I would just leave the groceries on the porch, and my mother would wash them off when she brought them into the house and so forth. And it was so long. This went on for several months. And then finally, my mom said, I don't care. I need to have a hug from you. And I hugged my mom, and I was like, it just felt so good to hug my mom. I love her, and you know, it's a natural thing, and it psychologically, we all need human touch. We need that. We crave that as human beings. So nursing home residents in Greeley, Colorado, who've been locked down like animals in a zoo, are exercising their First Amendment right to protest decisions made by the government that they believe are unfair. And here it says, nursing home residents who crave a simple hug protest cruel government lockdown. I'd rather die from COVID than loneliness. Do you know something? I'm going to tell you right now, I feel like that. I'd rather die from COVID than loneliness. And as a single woman, I mean, I've got 2 cats, but you know, there's only so much that you can discuss with them. I mean, and they're not going to get up and get me a Sammy or get me a you know, cup of coffee or anything. They just don't do that. So yeah, it gets lonely during this lockdown because there's nothing open, there's nowhere to go, there's no gatherings anywhere. So Yeah, I think that this is a much, much, much bigger problem than people are letting on. And especially for the elderly. It breaks my heart. I don't know. On Thursday, approximately 20 residents formed a line outside of Fair Acres Manor, a nursing and rehab facility where they live. Many of the residents held signs from their wheelchairs that expressed their frustration over the cruel government-mandated lockdown. "I'd rather die from COVID than loneliness," one of the signs read. Other signs read, "Prisoners in our own home," and "Give us freedom." I just think this is sad. Denver CBS local reports Ben Gonzalez, an assistant administrator at Fair Acres Manor, said the residents are upset about the COVID-19 restrictions put in place by the state health department. They want to be able to hug their grandchildren. They want to be able to hold the hands of their loved ones, Gonzalez said. Gonzalez said the residents are able to see visitors, but they have to stay 6 feet apart and can't have any physical contact. Gonzalez told CBS 4 the Fair Acres Resident Council wanted their voices to be heard and organized the protest on 16th Street. "We used to be lucky here at Fair Acres to show each other what we mean to one another, and we cannot do that anymore," said Resident Council President Sharon Peterson, who is 75. "Fair Acres follows the rules, and with that, we think they should keep us safe while being able to be with our families again. We did this because one thing we have to look forward to is a simple hug," Peterson said. "It gives us meaning." Now, that just makes me want to cry. Because a lot of these people, they don't have anybody to go in and see them. And even other residents, they can't hug one another. And it's sad. It's very, very sad. This is real. And this isn't just these people. I've heard it from other people that are saying, there's no visitors in the nursing homes. We can't see anybody. We can't see our loved ones. And they feel like this is a fate worse than death. Why are they in prison? What have they done? All right. Now, let's come back now and let's look at this. Breaking. Twitter locks White House press secretary's account for sharing the H Biden report. So you share that on Twitter and your account's locked. Seriously. I've seen it all day today. Just time after time after time. They're just empty tweets of people that have tried to retweet and, Twitter gives something like, they're trying to share disinformation. Well, they need to take that up with the New York Post. Why, they only seem to censor anything that's damaging to the left, never anything that's damaging to the right. And I know that you all know that. And, of course, this from Catturd says, breaking, Twitter has locked the account of White House press secretary Kayleigh McEnany. And Catturd said this isn't going to end well. No, it's not going to end well. It's not going to end well at all. And Twitter has only gotten worse, way worse. Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, all of them. They've doubled down extra hard close to the election. How is that not interference? Someone tell me. It's like we've just woken up in bizarro land. This year, as soon as, 2020 hit, it was like all of a sudden, one thing right after another, after another, after another. And I don't know if 2021 is going to be much better. I don't know. I hope so. But I don't know. Something has got to be done about all this censorship, because that's not a free country. It's not. We're not living in a free country anymore. When you can't say what's on your heart. Now, I'm not talking about hate speech and whatever. I'm talking about just voicing your opinion on something. Well, you're not allowed to have an opinion anymore, apparently. All right, and this by Robbie Starbuck. Twitter deleted New York Post tweet about the H bombshell. This is election interference. It most certainly is. We've entered the age where we have a ministry of truth run by the Democrats, and only they decide what's true. They demand that you no longer believe your lying eyes and ears. And that's exactly what they're asking us to do. They're asking us to disbelieve what we're seeing and what we're hearing, and just listen to them, because they are the guardians of the truth, apparently. They have appointed themselves thus. So, yeah, this was the New York Post, and of course, Twitter removed it. And this person says, chilling. Well, I agree. It is chilling. Very, very chilling. Now, let me see. Now, this is more about the same thing. Apparently, it was a computer repair shop owner that turned the copy of the files over to to Giuliani, and I think that is awesome, or else we wouldn't have them. Somebody should warn him about taking your computer to a repair shop, because if they find stuff on your computer, like, say like child porn or stuff like that, it's not good. Only an idiot would do that, but hey, we're not talking about somebody that's been blessed with brains. Anyway, this by Rogan O'Handley. We now have photo evidence of H with a meth crack pipe in his mouth and emails from his computer showing he set up meetings with Ukrainian Burisma execs and Joe Biden in exchange for money. Yeah. Facebook is calling this disinformation and suppressing it. And he said, return tweet to piss off big tech. Well, I did return tweet that, and I'm hoping many others did as well. I don't care. They can give me a timeout from Twitter. I'll live through it. Stupid people. I guess I wish we could just boycott all of social media, but it's like it's so entwined in our daily lives now. It's hard to do that. It really is. Well, let's move on. I have an idea. Let's move on. All right. So, yes, I love this. I love this article. I'm telling you right now, I love it. GOP Representative Collins questions Pelosi's mental fitness, attempts to remove the House Speaker. Woohoo! Yeah, I'll have a party that day. I'm going to bake a cake and everything. No, really, I will. And I'll dance. Probably not naked, but I'll dance out, I don't know, where people can see me. Yeah, I will. I'll be just so happy. Collins also cited what he calls Pelosi's unwillingness to abide by the Constitution. Well, yeah, for sure. Let me see. Let's come down here. Republican Representative Doug Collins has introduced a resolution calling for the removal of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi based on what he perceives as her mental decline. Well, yeah, I could call it something else, but I won't. Days after Pelosi announced legislation to look into President Trump's physical and mental health. Nancy Pelosi's unwillingness to abide by the Constitution, combined with her recent actions, call into action her own mental fitness. It's critical that the House of Representatives demand her removal from the line of succession, Collins tweeted. Collins' resolution is not expected to move forward in the Democrat-controlled House, and Pelosi's efforts, which attempt to remove the president based on the 25th Amendment, will not pass in the GOP-led Senate. Pelosi announced her legislative plan after Trump was released from Walter Reed Medical Center after being treated for coronavirus. Collins is in a close race to unseat incumbent GOP Georgia Senator Kelly Loeffler, and that is that. But it's too bad, because the thing is, that's the problem. You can't get anything through because the House, the majority is Democrat, so they're not going to get that through. And, Pelosi's not going to get her nonsense through because the Senate has the majority, and thank the good Lord that it does. Otherwise, the country would look very different right now. And let's just give this a listen, shall we? Of course we shall. Or maybe we shan't. I don't know. Here we go.
But he shows the need for us to create a process for future presidents. Throughout America's history, our leaders have created and strengthened guardrails in the Constitution to ensure stability and continuity of government in times of crisis. The 25th Amendment creates a path for preserving stability if a president...
I don't feel like listening to her mumble, do you? No, I didn't think so. So let's just move on from Pelosi because it's like eating a bad clam or something, you know? It's like, ugh. Just saying. All right, let's look at this right now because we can. Let's go. All right, video, truck with Trump flags torched by arsonists near Portland. Of course, we're not hearing much of this in the news anymore, are we? You can't imagine why that is. I guess it's not profitable for the Democrats to be reporting on this anymore because people are ticked off. Yeah, they thought that it would push people toward the Democrats, and it did the exact opposite. And yeah, so you're just not seeing this stuff as much, but it's still out there. So this was yesterday. Another day, another fuzzy picture of a nighttime fire set by violent leftists suffering from Trump derangement syndrome. Today's edition features a pickup truck in Vancouver, Washington, just north of Portland. Duh. That was adorned with Trump flags. That is until crazed arsonists decided to light the flags afire and the flames spread to torch the whole truck. Well, they don't care. They think that if you have an American flag or a Trump flag, that you deserve your truck or your car to be burned, or your home, or whatever they deem. They are judge, jury, and executioner. So anyway, an arson investigation is underway after a fire at an apartment complex parking lot was caught on camera. The flags were on the back of a pickup truck, which was also burned. Fox 12 spoke with the truck's owner, who said the whole thing was really scary, but he's not surprised it happened. We're going to buy a couple more flags, and if this husk is still sitting here, I'm going to mount more flags on this thing, and on my next truck, I'm going to do it again, Joseph Jean said. I'm not scared of these people at all, and it's going to take a lot more than this to do it. So I think that is awesome, that he's not giving in, but this is just, it's crazy. So let me show you this.
The Clark County Sheriff's Office says it's investigating this video that you see right here. A viewer emailed it to us saying that somebody set flags in support of Donald Trump on fire. Those flags were on the back of a pickup truck, and the truck burned as well. We talked to the truck's owner, who says the whole thing was pretty scary, but he's not surprised it happened.
We're going to buy a couple more flags, and if this husk is still sitting here, I'm going to mount flags on this thing, and my next truck, I'm going to do it again. And I'm not scared of these people at all. It's going to take a lot more than this to do it.
But the thing is we don't condone this from either side. I don't care if you have a Biden flag in your truck. I would never set a vehicle on fire and take the chance of hurting human beings.
That's right.
Because I couldn't agree with
the chance
flag.
they took.
Well, if you have any information about what happened, the Clark County Sheriff's Office would like to hear from you.
Well, what do you think happened? Everybody knows what happened. A bunch of leftists were set off by the Trump flag and thought, gee, I think we'll burn this truck. That's exactly what happened. There, I solved it. All right, and let's come back here and let's, yeah, I'm gonna skip that as well because I'm just a little bit of saying too much about it. That's why I'm directing you to go out and read the article for yourself so you will know and you are able to pass it along. Now, this, something that everybody knows, this is Students for Trump. Watch, Twitter is blocking users from posting a news story they don't like. Well, which news story is that? That's right, that's the one, and they are blocking it, actively blocking it. Here, let me show you this. That is the news story. And tweet not sent. So you can't return, like, tweet it out at all because they won't let that news story, they won't let it on Twitter. Lovely, isn't it? Yeah, it's wonderful living under communism. Anyway, let's go back, or fascism, or whatever. Well, actually, it's socialism. That's what it is. It's socialism. Okay, and let's look at this because I like it, and you will too. New poll finds support for Amy Coney Barrett. Confirmation keeps rising. This is from today. It's hot and fresh. And she is doing amazingly well. I have gained so much respect for this woman. She is simply amazing. And I do think that she is the best woman for the job. I really do. She literally has blown my socks off. And I don't say that easily. I'm just not somebody that's easily impressed. But I am impressed with her. A new poll released Wednesday shows that support for Judge Amy Coney Barrett's Supreme Court confirmation continues to rise steadily. The October 9 to 11 Morning Consult Political poll found that 48% of registered voters said the Senate should vote to confirm Barrett to replace the late Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, up 2 percentage points from a poll a week ago. The percentage of registered voters who said the Senate should vote to deny Barrett's nomination remained unchanged at 31%. Support for Barrett's nomination has increased by 11 percentage points since Donald Trump announced her nomination on September 26 and compares favorably with public sentiment toward Justice Brett Kavanaugh prior to his confirmation hearing, the Morning Consult reported. At the time, 37% of voters said Kavanaugh should be confirmed, while 29% said the Senate should vote to deny his confirmation. But look at that, 48% think that Amy Coney Barrett should be confirmed. So looks like we're looking at a new Supreme Court justice, because I have no doubt she's going to be confirmed. When split into Republican and Democrats, 77% of Republicans and 27% of Democrats said Barrett should be confirmed, a larger share of support than was shown for Kavanaugh in 2018. Although Democrats have been pushing to hold off the vote on Barrett's nomination until after the election, the results of the recent poll show they have not yet swayed public opinion. 44% of voters want the Senate to confirm Barrett quickly, while 36% want to wait to see if Trump wins the election before confirming his nominee. So there you go. When split into political parties, 73% of Republicans and 23% of Democrats want the Senate to vote to confirm Barrett as soon as possible. 59% of Democrats and 14% of Republicans want the Senate to wait until after November 3rd. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina addressed that issue during Barrett's hearing on Monday, arguing Justice Ginsburg said several years ago that a president serves for 4 years, not 3, so there is nothing unconstitutional about starting the confirmation process. This is a vacancy that has occurred through a tragic loss of a great woman, and we're going to fill that vacancy with another great woman, Graham said. And I could not agree more. Judge Barrett of the U.S. Court of Appeals for the 7th Circuit has been facing the Senate Judiciary Committee's questions this week in regard to her nomination. When asked by Senator Dianne Feinstein how she would rule on various hypothetical scenarios, like if the president has the authority to delay a general election, Barrett told the California Democrat that she would rule on cases, not on speculation. If that question ever came before me, I would need to hear arguments from the litigants and read briefs and consult with my law clerks and talk to my colleagues and go through the opinion writing process, she said. The Morning Consult political poll was conducted online from October 9th to 11th with a sample of 1,986 registered voters and a margin of error of plus or minus 2 percentage points. So that is good news. That's good news because it shows that she is going to be confirmed as a Supreme Court justice. And I, for one, am very happy about that. I hope that you are also as happy about that as I am. I think it was a very wise decision on Trump's part. And she is clearly well qualified and extremely intelligent. I mean, certainly a whole lot more intelligent than some of the people that are asking her questions. Let's just put it that way. All right. Now, this is bizarre, and I do believe that this is true. I have no reason to question that it's not. Now, I did clip it out, but I'm going to actually use the link to go there, and I'm going to show you something. Now, this is about Canada, but as you know, what affects Canada affects the U.S. and vice versa. We are each other's largest trading partners. And it is Well, I don't think I have to argue that for you guys. I think that you are probably well aware of that. All right. Well, it's waiting for something. I don't know. It's perhaps waiting for, it says not responding. Hate it when that happens. Not sure why it's not responding, but let's give it a minute because I really want to show you this badly. If it takes too much longer, I'll just read it from the clipped version. Well, I guess anybody have a joke? I don't. I haven't been in much of a joking mood lately with my mom, so well, not sure what's happening there, but it's not happy anyway. Come on. Yep. Well, I might have to pause this. Oh, here it comes. I don't know. I guess I probably didn't speak, softly to it and sing it a lullaby and buy it lunch. I don't know, but it's taken forever. Maybe I'll just go back there. It's probably whoops, it's probably not, sorry, there we go. Oh crap, I didn't mean to bring that up. I don't know what is wrong with me. Here we go. Let's, where is it? Here we go. I'm gonna just read it from this because I'm tired of waiting, and I think you probably are as well. Okay, now, it says, I want to provide you some very important information. I'm a committee member within the Liberal Party of Canada. I sit within several committee groups, but the information I am providing is originating from the Strategic Planning Committee, which is steered by the PMO. I think the PMO is like the Premier of Ontario. I need to start off by saying, and we don't have governors, we have premiers. I need to start off by saying that I'm not happy doing this, but I have to, as a Canadian, and more importantly, as a parent who wants a better future, not only for my children, but for other children as well. The other reason I'm doing this is because roughly 30% of the committee members are not pleased with the direction this will take Canada, but our opinions have been ignored and they plan on moving forward toward their goals. They have also made it very clear that nothing will stop the planned outcomes. The roadmap and the aim was set out by the PMO and is as follows. PMO, I believe, is, I'm not sure, because I've been away from Canadian politics for so long, because I've been living in the States forever. And of course, now they won't even let you see this article that I'm trying to show you here. So isn't that interesting? PMO, Canada. I just want to be sure because Prime Minister's office. Okay, so it's a lot higher than the Premier. It's the Prime Minister office. I've never, like I said, I'm much more involved in United States politics than I am in Canadian politics because I've lived most of my adult life in the States and I was very concerned with what was happening there. But coming back to Canada, it's kind of, I've had to have a crash course again because the politics here is very different. Still the same shenanigans, still the same, corruption, but different. So anyway, the roadmap and aim was set out by the Prime Minister and is as follows. Phase in secondary lockdown restrictions on a rolling basis, starting with major metropolitan areas first and expanding outward, expected by November 2020. Rush the acquisition of or construction of isolation facilities, which they are already building. And if I'm not mistaken, they're completed. Excuse me. Construction of isolation facilities across every province and territory expected by December 2020. Daily new cases of COVID-19 will surge beyond capacity of testing, including increases in COVID-related deaths following the same growth curves expected by the end of November 2020. Complete and total secondary lockdown, much stricter than the first and second rolling phase restrictions, expected by end of December 2020. Early January 2021, reform and expansion of the unemployment program to be transitioned into the Universal Basic Income Program, expected by the first quarter in 2021. Now, I myself have heard that as well, that is what they're planning to do. They're planning on bringing in, through, under the guise of COVID, universal basic income, because they're planning on very, very stringent lockdowns, stricter than we've had in the past. Yeah, you heard that right. Yeah. So, of course, more businesses are going to go. Already, everywhere I drive, there's businesses closed up, and for rent signs in empty storefronts that say for rent, and nobody's going to rent them. It's a terrible time to start a business because you don't know what this government's going to do. Anyway, so yeah, that's exactly what they're planning. So they've already completed some of these facilities. I think that there's 11 facilities in 9 provinces, from what I understand, already. And they've already put the call out, and I saw it on the official government website, so I know this is not fake news. They've already put the word out that they need people to man these isolation facilities. They're not voluntary. You're not just going to go there and voluntarily isolate. Of course not. No. And so then they plan on doing lockdowns, more testing, and they are planning on bringing about this universal basic income. So projected COVID-19 mutation and or co-infection with secondary virus referred to as COVID-21, leading to a third wave with much higher mortality rate and a higher rate of infection expected by February 2021. So that's what we have to look forward to in 2021. Yippee! And if you think this is just Canada, somebody, I don't know what side, but probably the deep state is planning the same things, because this is global. It is part of the globalist agenda. They are trying to bring in the New World Order through COVID, and they've done a pretty bang up job so far, and we're just all going along with it. And I don't know how you're supposed to fight it. I really don't. But anyway, so they're planning on introducing a new wave, a third wave that has another virus attached to it. It's going to be much more deadly. And I said that. I have a friend actually that I talk about a lot of this stuff that lives in Georgia. And we were talking and we said, that's exactly what's going to happen. They're going to, because remember when Bill Gates said, oh, well, the next one, they've been able to ignore this one. They won't be able to ignore the next. And he's all smiles. Oh, people are going to die. Wonderful. Because he is a eugenicist. So what do you expect? But anyway, so I knew that. I thought, no, this isn't it. They're going to bring something else. It's going to be a mutation or something. And the numbers are going to go way up. They want people to die. That's part of the globalist agenda. They cannot govern this many people. They want 90% of the world's population. Now, I don't believe that they'll ever get 90% of the world's population gone, but that is what they want. That's how sick they are. Yes. So, daily new cases of COVID-21 hospitalizations and COVID-19 and COVID-21 related deaths will exceed medical care facility capacity, expected the first quarter to the second quarter of 2021. Enhanced lockdown restrictions, referred to as third lockdown, will be implemented. Full travel restrictions will be imposed, including interprovince and intercity. So if you are living in one city, like I'm in a very small town here, it's very rural. So I won't be able to travel to another city to shop, which I always do. I mean, I get my groceries here, but that's about it because there's not much else here. You know, we have a Walmart, but, well, you know, Walmart. Anyway, daily new cases. All right. Enhanced lockdown restrictions referred to as third lockdown. So you're not going to be able to travel between provinces here in Canada or between cities. What if you have a doctor's appointment in another city? But here, I mean, right now, it's hard to even get in to see a doctor because the doctors aren't seeing patients. It's all telephone medicine. Well, that's great if you can just say, yeah, I need some antibiotics because whatever. But what if it's something that you need to be seen? Like I have bursitis in my shoulder and I've needed a shot in my shoulder for I don't know how long, but I can't get in to see a doctor because I guess they're too afraid that I might give them COVID. But I mean, then they tell us that the masks are safe. Well, put a mask on. I'll put a mask on and give me a shot in the arm. Doesn't seem like brain surgery to me, but hey. All right, anyway. So transitioning of individuals into the Universal Basic Income Program expected mid-second quarter 2021. Projected supply chain breakdowns, inventory shortages, large economic instability is expected late into the second quarter of 2021. So if you are in Canada right now, buy supplies. I've been trying to warn people that they're going to do this, and you need to have supplies. Because if Canada's planning this, there's a good chance, I mean, there's already shortages being experienced. So, and oh my gosh, every time I go to the grocery store, the prices are way up. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Anyway, deployment of military personnel into major metropolitan areas as well as all major roadways to establish travel checkpoints. Did I not tell you this was coming? I told you. You will not be, they'll need to see your papers. And what is what papers? Oh, they're going to want to make sure that you live where you say you live. They want to make sure that you have been either tested or vaccinated or what have you. Yeah, absolutely. You know, as soon as a vaccine becomes available, they're going to set up checkpoints. Now, this is specifically towards Canada. I don't know, because this is not just Canada. This is global. This is the globalist agenda. This is it. Anyway, so deployment of military personnel into major metropolitan areas as well as all major roadways to establish travel checkpoints, restrict travel and movement, provide logistical support to the area expected by the third quarter of 2021. Doesn't this sound fun? It sounds like complete and total social. I mean, we will lose every freedom. I just pray, and we need to pray that Donald Trump gets in, and we need to pray that he is who he says he is, and he'll do what he said he'll do. Because this, I'm just being flat out honest. This worries me. It worries me. So I wanted to definitely bring that to you because it is imperative that you all know this, and don't just write this off and say, oh, it's fear porn, it's this or that. No, we've all seen the documents that they had planned this years and years and years in advance. And the reason they planned it is to bring in the globalist new world order, the globalist agenda. We know that. So this shouldn't come as a surprise, and don't write it off and just say, oh, well, that's Canada. This is the plan they have. Now, I don't think that if Trump gets in, that would be allowed in the States. I would like to think that it wouldn't. So we need to pray like we've never prayed before for both countries, because what affects the United States affects Canada and vice versa. Same thing with Mexico. We're all kind of attached here. And yeah, it matters what happens in the other countries. I know living in the United States, it taught me to be ethnocentristic. And what that means is you believe that the culture that you're in, that's it. You are so focused on that culture. And that is a fault that I see with American culture. Now, I love the United States. I love it. And I love Americans. I've met very few Americans I didn't like. They're very different than Canadians, but that's all right. I love it. I love the spirit and the bravado and the bravery of the American people. I love it. But that is one thing. They are very ethnocentristic, and they think, well, if it's not happening here, it's not happening. And, I really got out of that mindset when I did missionary work, because it got me out of my culture and into another culture, and seeing things from outside of the bubble really changed my view on a lot. So don't just write this off, is what I'm trying to say. Don't just say, well, it's Canada. We don't have to worry. And you know what? I'm not asking you to be afraid. I don't want you to be afraid. I want you to, if you are a believer, to trust God and trust Him with your safety and security. And also, I think that the good Lord expects us to use the mind that He put in our head. And if we know there's trouble coming, I think that it, would be expected that we would prepare. Now, I don't sell any of that stuff. No food or preparation or anything. So I don't have any dog in the fight. I have no reason to tell you that. It doesn't make one bit of difference to me whether you prepare or not. But I do hope that you can prepare, and don't spend a ton of money on some of this processed food, which they found really is not of the quality that it needs to be. Now, I'm not speaking for all of them. I'm just saying they have found. So you can prepare like what I did. I bought a bunch of dried beans. I bought a bunch of rice, because literally you can live for a very, very long time on just beans and rice. It forms a complete protein, and you can live for a long time on that. So just cheaply, I've gotten extra jars of peanut butter and tuna and things like that. Might not be great variety, but keep me alive. So please consider it, okay? If you're seeing tuna on sale or whatever on sale, get an extra one, put it away, okay? I don't want to see anybody go hungry. I really don't, especially if all it took was, a bit of preparation. So, all right, I've probably talked your hind leg off, and let me see how we're doing for our time here. We're just about at the hour mark, so I think I'm gonna stop for tonight, but do check out the pinned link, because that will be the t-shirt shop that the link has been broken to. And also make sure to check out, now I'm not going to mention them every single show, but rapharub.com, and I think I said .shop on the little commercial, but it is rapharub.com. And check them out as well, because it's good to maybe have some of that stuff around as well for healing during whatever is coming, because I like to keep just a little bit of I've got some antibiotics here, I've got just this and that, triple antibiotic cream and things like that I might need if I can't see a doctor. So and this is good stuff. The quality is superior, and so check them out. All right. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening. I appreciate it. And I appreciate all your kind comments and your prayers. And it really cheers me up. It certainly does. It makes me feel like I'm not alone in this. And I hope that hearing my voice makes you feel that you're not alone in this as well. So good night, guys. Have a wonderful evening. Sleep well, stay safe, and keep seeking truth. Good night. Oops. I don't know what I did there, but I obviously didn't do the right thing. So now, good night.